Hello Pisces, welcome to your February 2025 forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. I'd like to welcome all of you, and I'd also like to extend some gratitude. I know that your sign had to wait the longest of everybody, so rest assured that I will be reversing the order next month, starting with Pisces, so you'll get the March ones before anybody else. And if you're wondering, why is it so long that this took to come through, and why is the background different? It's because I'm traveling. I had to leave Los Angeles for basically health reasons. The air quality is really poor, and I was just a couple miles away from one of the two big fires there. So thank you so much for understanding. With all of that being said, let's get into your reading today. As always, this is going to help you navigate through the month ahead, and I like to begin with channeled messages. Now for you, there were two major symbols that came through. The first one was basically like a helicopter, and I was just paying attention to the motor and the blade at the top, and it basically represented the ability to cut through any sort of red tape or blocks, or even sort of like clearing out the mental cobwebs and starting to make some headway. Helicopters also have the ability to basically navigate in more directions than a traditional plane. And so you may find that you can move with greater ease. Your thoughts may also be moving with greater fluidity. And I just find like it's almost like a breath of fresh air. So when it comes to ideation, progress in general, and removing blocks, seeing that helicopter is a really good symbol. The other thing that came to me while I was meditating right before this reading was a shamrock. And to me, this represents luck and abundance, but what Spirit kind of whispered into my mind before I began was, you make your own luck. So there's this misconception sometimes or misperception that, you are either lucky or you're not. And I believe that luck can sometimes be a state of mind. And if you feel like it's possible, if you believe that you can make it happen, you're more likely to see all of the synchronicities, all of the doorways that are presenting themselves to you. So let's stay really open to that idea that your luck is changing, that things can move with greater speed, and that there might be new directions or new avenues that are opening up to you. With that being said, let's give the cards a shuffle and see what this month holds in store. Close your eyes for a moment, let's tune in, and the image that's coming to mind is a beautiful field of grass. Imagine that you are sitting in the middle of this field, the sun is directly overhead, and you take your hands and create a circle in the grass, and it connects to that radiant beam of sunlight above you. You are now connected to Source, and we can welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters. Open your eyes when you're ready, and let's get started. Get all this organized. Okay, let's begin with your catalyst. As I took a look at this, it kind of made me smile here. We had the sloth coming through. Again, catalyst helps you focus on what you need to create change. And if we look at this upright, it's about relaxing, staying composed, and trying to be indifferent to something. So that's where the challenge is, because this was reversed. The relaxation piece is probably one of the easier things to tackle. You may just be running yourself to a point of exhaustion, and just like the battery on your watch or on your phone, it needs time to recharge, so do you. So whether it's meditation, taking a nap, getting some sleep, just changing up your schedule and pushing things back, whatever you can do to get that rest and relaxation is key. The composure thing is a little more challenging. There could be people in your life that just have the ability to get under your skin. There may be this tendency to be a perfectionist. This month, try to take a step back, stay cool, calm, and collected, and don't let something take you out of your zen. The indifference thing is something that comes with age, experience, and maturity. There just may be someone in your life or something in your life that isn't worth the time and energy. So try to take a step back and get clarity and get perspective. And in fact, just kind of fast forwarding to the health area, that's what we have here, the Eight of Cups in reverse, making and breaking cycles. The way that this one is illustrated, you even see all the broken glasses. Sometimes we just have to stop something that doesn't serve our highest good anymore. The good news as we go to the center card is the Magician has a great ability to make necessary changes happen. So this month, part of it is simply saying, I'm going to do this, taking the initiative, believing in yourself enough to push in that new direction and to focus. So magicians have everything that they need, but sometimes they get overwhelmed with the possibilities. So pick one thing that really resonates, put your energy there, and literally you can start to work some magic and create something new. The only thing that might be getting in the way of the Magician potential is the Ten of Swords that's crossing this. And I mentioned earlier that it was really important for you not to get into a cycle of burnout, also maybe not even to let someone get under your skin. So this is one of the most beautiful Ten of Swords because she's not taking the bait. She's decided in this particular illustration to walk away from disorder, from chaos, from pain. She's saying, I've been there. I've worked that lesson before, and now I'm going to choose a different path. So this month, be wise enough to recognize when something isn't worth your time and energy. This can also represent chronic pain or fatigue, so please listen to your body. When I was traveling, partly because there's been a lot of stress in my life as I've been going from city to city and trying to kind of get my own health in order, but I had like a spasm in my back and I had to see a chiropractor, and I found a great one in the city that I'm visiting here on the East Coast. But that was the first thing that I did. Like the very next day in the morning, I had to go find a doctor, take care of that. I felt great like that afternoon. So it's so important for us to really take care of our health and well-being, not to put it on the back burner. And had I let that kind of go, then, who knows what else would happen. So listen to your body. When it's a little creak, when there's something in your house where there's a little leak or, something that feels like, oh, I should probably deal with that. Absolutely. Because just as I was able to find someone that was able to make it better, you can do it as well. Work your magic, fix this, choose better. That's basically what we see with this, is to choose wiser and better and use your energy in different ways, okay? Let's see what else is coming through here. Love, support, friendship, and camaraderie. Yes, yes, and yes. Two of Cups energy representing the work that you've done in the deep past to bring in help. And sometimes we don't even allow people to hold us up, to give us a hug, to support us. There could also be a desire for you to want to build the network. I read the comments and sometimes people are saying, well, I don't have that right now. This card shows potential, so you have the potential to lean into new connections this month if you allow yourself. So I would encourage you, if you are seeking that sort of network building, to, if you're working, get involved with a professional network, or maybe do something at work if there's some sort of volunteer program. And by the way, if you're retired or a student, doing any sort of community outreach is great. If you want to take a class, there's so many different ways to meet people. Learning a new sort of thing in your life, whether it's improvement or support or community stuff, however you want to get involved, this is a time to do it. And you may meet like-minded and similarly energetic people in the same frequency is what I'm trying to say. So follow your passions, stay involved, and get out there. If you've been looking for love this month, this card portends good things. And what we see here at the center is changing this cycle of feeling like, again, pain has to be there. It doesn't. Just like I said, you can change your luck, especially when it comes to relationships or work or money. You can do the same, or health. This is a month to change the tide. Let's move on to your recent past. This is what I'm talking about with a change of fortune, and again, with the Magician card at the center. In the sort of like underlying energy here, we have Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which can represent more energy or more money going out than coming in. And now we see a change here with the Page of Pentacles on top of that. Things are starting to equal out. This also comes from slowing down and reevaluating, like auditing things. And then this is about saying, hey, how about this? I need this. Communicating needs, wants, and desires. If we even just take it out of the whole money aspect, Resources are your time and your energy. So there may be things in your life where you just start to speak up and say, you know what, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I'd like to do this, or can I count on you for some help here? That simple act of communicating boundaries or asking for help can help you create the balance that's starting to occur here. And this is so important because once you've identified it, once you've spoken up, it's like planting a seed and things start to grow. And so this month, don't underestimate the power of a question, like, can I get some help? Don't underestimate the power of your voice, particularly when it comes to what you're worth. I need this in order to do this, or I'm worth this. Let's talk about how to get it. Those sorts of conversations are going to help you change, like make and break the cycle. We're not even there yet, but it's going to be good for health, happiness, and definitely for your general well-being. As we take a look at your crowning position, we have the Queen of Swords. This is exactly in alignment with what we just talked about, finding times and places and different ways to speak your mind. If we get a little closer on the card, look at how she's really at ease here. She's taken her time. She has planned, she's meditated, she feels ready. So one thing that I would say for you Pisces is do the homework and do the practice. Put things to practice, and sometimes that involves talking it through with a friend, like talking something out and saying, hey, can I just practice here? How does this sound to you? She's done all of that, and so by the time it comes for the sort of like appointment or meeting, you know, she has it all together. So do your homework, collect your thoughts, and then don't hold back. It's your time to shine. It's your time to speak up. And don't be surprised if people want you to do a little bit more with respect to either leadership, public speaking, or they may even ask you to help write or draft something, because this card is integral and very much connected to different types of communication. So get ready. Looking at the near future, many of you will be happy to see that we have the Page of Cups. This represents good news. And you have two pages here. One representing love, relationship, or just something happy. And then we have another one representing worth. So again, that Queen of Swords sitting at the top, let's just turn the camera down and look at this for a second. So we have, I need or I want this. You're speaking to others, but this is also them considering what you've said. And it's like call and answer, the call, the answer. And it is necessary because something was either exhausting or a little bit out of balance here. You have the power, you have the voice, you have the potential to bring this full circle. And when we look at the circle, and forget about the old cycle here, this is worth, this is speaking up, this is happiness, this is partnership. We're going to orbit this Ten of Swords. I just want to toss it off the spread. But we can't toss it off the spread because there is that tendency in the past, maybe even for the perfectionist tendencies, feeling like, I don't want to try this because maybe I'll fail. Or holding to sort of like our heart and our head too much, you know, other people's criticism and not allowing ourselves room to grow. You are safe now. You are okay now to sort of like step into something new. The rejection, the setback, the disappointment from the past is very much in the past, if you'll let it be. Let's take a look at how you're coming through this month. We have the Four of Swords, but it is reversed. So I can already tell you that there's a lot going on, and some of you may be a little sleep deprived. That deprivation could be leading you back into that old cycle of burnout, so be careful there. This could also simply mean that you're one step away from healing. So if we look at this in the upright position, you can see that the Three of Swords has been healed now in this Four of Swords nest that she's in. She's taking care of herself, she's pulling back a little bit, she's resting, and we talked about that earlier, the importance of rest. It was in the catalyst, right? So rest and relaxation can help you get the composure that you need. And the indifference piece is really kind of like the law of detachment, saying, I'm ready for this, I'm deserving of this, but I'm not going to push a connection if it isn't time yet. I'm going to find the connection that's ready. And when you're not pushing for it, then it just comes towards you, that opportunity. Please, please, please take care of yourself. And if you are struggling with the ability to fall asleep, focus on how you are managing stress, because these two cards are definitely related to stress. This can be physical pain, but it can also be stress at work or in life. And then this is kind of the after effect of that, which is I can't kind of like make my mind stop when I put my head on the pillow. That's probably because for many of us, it's the first time we've given ourselves a moment of quiet. So You can find it in different ways. Not everyone wants to sit in the lotus position and tune in. You can walk your dog, you can walk yourself, you can go exercise or swimming or reading or whatever you can do to kind of like disengage just a little bit. And then don't push away what comes in. Listen to what your mind is wanting you to process. The quiet comes after you clear the cobwebs. You have to deal with the cobwebs and the spiders first. Once you do that, then we can get to the fun stuff. Then we can get to the helicopters and what was the other symbol that I came up with? The shamrock. So those sorts of things await you once you're ready to see beyond sort of the dust and clutter that might be inhabiting some of the mental real estate right now, okay? So rest and a slower pace. That is, by the way, the reason that this Knight of Pentacles is in reverse. He or she is slowing down long enough to figure out, is it worth my time and energy? And that then is going to kind of give you what we see here in the environment, which is new passion, new focus. So this page is starting to learn that it's important to march to the beat of their own drum, but they're holding back on releasing something, an idea, a thought, or just kind of like going with their first intuition or impression. So I'd love for you not to second guess yourself. There could also be someone around you that is pushy and stubborn, because this is in the environment. So this would be someone that wants you to do it their way and tends to make you maybe even question whether it's gaslight or not, but they might be gaslighting you or making you sort of wonder, like, is my idea a bad idea or whatever? And then lo and behold, they may end up using it down the line. So trust yourself, tune out some of the nonsense that might be going on. And I feel like some of you might be holding on to something longer than it needs to be. So I mentioned this can be a perfectionist tendency. Know when it's done, whatever it is that you're working on. This can be overthinking. So try sometimes to just go with the first impression and see where it helps you land. We have two great cards here. Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities is the King of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is the outcome. We'll start off with the King first. So you have what it takes to create whatever it is that you're trying to bring into fruition. This card represents success. It's very grounded. It also is an opportunity for you to put down some roots. So look at the space that you inhabit at work, at school, look at your activities and make sure that it feels kind of like this, comfy, like a nest. Do I feel safe? Do I feel comfortable? If you don't, maybe there are some spaces where it's not worth the time and energy. Go somewhere right now where you really feel grounded, supported, and connected. That grounding also comes from this. So you want someone who has your back. And we see loyalty with the beautiful, is it a husky or something, sitting in the foreground and just basically saying, you know what, less is more sometimes too when it comes to friends, partnerships, and activities. Focus on the ones that are grounding, supportive, and give you a return on your energy. Could you find love or support this month? Yes. Could you also find a job? Yes. King of Pentacles is about accomplishing those core goals with great ability, with great aplomb. All right, the outcome is amazing here. Nine of Pentacles gives you more than what you need. It is self-sustaining, it is independent, it is success. The thing that you want to be mindful of is that sometimes this can represent a little bit of isolation or a little bit of stubbornness when it comes to, I have to do this all on my own. You could, but you could also ask for some help and get that 10th pentacle. You could allow someone to support you and maybe find a way to get that pentacle a little bit faster so you can get to the 10 of Pentacles and achieve even more. So I don't have any doubt in your ability this month. I think you've got what it takes to bring things way past the finish line. We have really amazing leadership cards here and great abundance cards and a change of fortune. That's why I saw the shamrock. Your biggest challenge before we even get into the expanded forecast is taking care of your body, taking care of your emotional health, and not pushing yourself to a point of extreme exhaustion. Let's look at health. We're already there. So we're going to move on to the expanded forecast. We're going to start off with health, wealth, love, and destiny. The first one is health, mind, body, and spirit. So I mentioned here with health, time to make or break habits in your life. Break the ones that don't serve you. For instance, this and this. You have to get a certain amount of sleep. You have to focus on the well-being and happiness of your body. Things that you could make, new cycles that you could kind of move into would be focusing on a relationship that allows you to really feel that sense of support, focusing on environments and activities that absolutely return on your energy. Now let's just go deeper into the cards here and see what else is coming through. This can actually be an encouragement from Spirit to get acupuncture. Those 10 swords can be 10 needles. So if there's something that you haven't been able to solve with traditional medicine, you can try massage therapy, acupuncture, and chiropractic work as well. This is also just saying pay attention to a small thing before it gets bigger, as we've said many times. Other health messages. I honestly think that it just, I get a little pressure on my temples when I'm looking at this. So some of you may be clenching your jaw, some of you may be having like a headache, and it is in part due to the environment, which could be high stress. It could be someone around you that tends to push their stress or their energy on you. Ultimately, though, there is a chance to just think, I'm done. I've done all I can do. Don't hold on to more than you need to when it comes to stress in your life. I think that the King of Pentacles, he's upright, but there's always a cautionary note here. He could either be too stationary or sometimes he treats himself a little bit too much. Both the King of Pentacles and the King of Cups. King of Cups is usually over drinking. King of Pentacles is usually overworking or overeating. So anything to an extreme, you will really want to avoid that. Moderation is your friend this month. Otherwise, it's great. Your keys to success are in this catalyst: relaxation, composure, and trying to kind of separate yourself from things that don't serve your interests. That's it. Let's move on. Let's go to wealth. All right. So wealth is going to help you with changing resource management in your life, and also hopefully getting more of what you're worth in time, energy, and money. So we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, a change of fortune. So we just talked about making and breaking cycles. If there's a habit that you don't want, you can let go of it. Now, if there's something that you want, you can sort of replace it with that new thing here, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You could also be looking at old things that used to bring you value, and they may not have the same effect on your life anymore. Whether it's a relationship, a job, or an activity, they're all investments. So I'd really love you to look at those investments this month of time and energy and think, am I getting what I'm giving? And the reason I'm mentioning that is we see it right here. There was too much going out before. It's going to take maybe a month or two to fully bring this into balance, but you're going to get 90% the way there this month. And then I feel like you've got this. So look at the expenditure, look at how committed other people are, make sure that that feeling is mutual. All right, we're going to break this down into 5 subcategories like always and see what's up. All right, so we're going to look at those of you that currently have a traditional job. Then we'll move on to those that are self-employed or entrepreneurs, followed, and it's a beautiful synchronicity there, followed by job seekers, another synchronicity, moving on then to students, and then finally those who are retired. All right, let's begin with anybody who currently has a job. So the 8 of Pentacles is one of the best cards here when it comes to the ability to learn. You're learning a lot, but you may be doing the lion's share here. The 8 of Pentacles in reverse, it's just a lot, almost too much, or there's too much of a focus on the fine print and you might be missing the big picture. I love that you're detail oriented, but fixating on every detail may not be worth it. One of my jobs was working with video and photography production, and there were certain things in the background that you wouldn't have to perfect. And I used to work at studios, so if you're doing even TV or movie production, certain things in the backdrop, if it's out of the field of your sort of focal length, you don't have to perfect it because it's going to be blurred or it's going to be so far back that it won't be seen. So what you really want to focus on are the core things that are going to get the most attention. Put some of the other things to the side or delegate, or just realize not everyone is going to be as razor focused as you at the end of the day on something. And that is going to be a freeing thought. You may be deciding to revise something. So an 8 of Pentacles in reverse can show that you're very close, first of all, to completing something, but there may be a need to move some sentences around, or if it's design, change a couple of colors or change a font, but everything is very close. This to me is a slight revision. And so allow that to be a moment to just make it as good as it can be, like we said, and then let it go. Your 80% is someone else's 100% because of what I'm seeing in this spread. So Allow someone else to do their job. Don't micromanage, and don't let someone micromanage you. Otherwise, I feel like you got this. This is great. You might also be choosing to go back to school. Eight of Pentacles is an apprentice card. So if you want to go back, we were talking about making and breaking cycles and changing cycles here. Yeah, go back. It could be your high school equivalency. You could be going to school, getting training, whatever it is that you didn't finish before. Now is the time. Let's look at some general trends for a traditional job here. There's too much going on, and there's more sort of expectation than you can actually possibly deliver on. So push back and say, I think it's always good to have a conversation like this. I know you need this and you want this. Here's how much I can do. Who would you like me to give this piece to, or who should I partner with to make sure that the rest is done? You just told them you couldn't do it, but you also told them that you're going to help them find the right person, or you're just going to encourage them to delegate, which is part of their job, without being pushy or insubordinate. You're just saying, here's how much I can do. Or if you need me to do this, I need you to take these things off my plate. It can't be all. And so you're helping them accomplish their goals, but you're also reminding them about what's possible and what isn't. Because sometimes people don't always realize that. Don't argue though. If they get crazy about this and try to sort of create something, just step back and say, well, this is what I can work on. Think about the other stuff that we talked about, and I'm going to just focus on that. Because then you've communicated what you need to. That's a big wake-up call, by the way. If someone tunes you out, it's probably not sustainable. I'm not seeing that for most of you. I just think that you don't want to go into the argumentative point. Just stay proactive and encourage them and come with solutions. Because all of the rest of the cards are pretty good. Make sure that you get sleep. One thing that I learned as a student, even though we're looking at those that have a job, is that when you stay up late and try to do things in 2 and 3 in the morning, you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be typos. You'll forget something. So it's better sometimes to just close the book, close the project, save the document, and come back early the next day. You can do it better in a group here. So we have 2 of Cups and Page of Cups and another page here. So this is someone that would be like numbers and details. This is creative. This is the partnership here. This is like the project manager. You got to do it together. It's a group. This is also someone that's even more in the weeds when it comes to like money and schedules. So I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 4 people. And there might even be someone else in the mix here that can make this happen. So teamwork makes the dream work. Can you do it this month? Yes. You can actually achieve and reach new heights. Speak up. I don't know when it's time for your performance reviews and whatever they call them nowadays. But if you want to get to a new pinnacle, now's the time to start charting that course with your boss. Overall, pretty good. Avoid an argument, avoid overworking, and I think you've got this. Let's move on to the next category. For those who are currently an entrepreneur, we have the 9 of Pentacles. It actually perfectly aligns with your outcome, 9 of Pentacles. And so this is asking you to look at what you want to do with earnings in the long run. So if you are in a point where you're starting to see profit, invest some, but then as I was talking about, it might be time to fill out your team. If you're feeling like I'm carrying too much of the load and I can't sleep, this could be people that have like interns. Sometimes pages are interns or recent graduates. Then we have a couple of more experienced people here. It looks like a good team to me, at least a couple new people if your budget allows. This is also playing the long game. What I mean by that is 9 of Pentacles normally has a snail on it. I don't think any of these illustrations do, but slow and steady and very measured approaches are what benefit you with 9 of Pentacles. You want to look at a 3, 5, and 10-year plan and really start to act strategically with your business. The biggest areas of opportunity are your own health and your own burnout. And as long as you avoid that and help alleviate any health issues, you're fine. Focus on creating the next big thing as well. The magician is always thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead, strategic, passionate, and pretty effective overall. I feel like this is a good month for you. Let's move on to job seekers. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. There's exhaustion in this card. I can feel it. It totally aligns with the other 4 of Swords that we got, also reversed. And it's like, I can just see people looking at a bunch of like pulling up stones, moving leaves around, moving papers around. It's like, I've looked everywhere. So the message that I gave to everyone else before about just closing the books here, it's also important. Like, know when you've exhausted everything. There are moments where there's no new listings, and stressing out isn't going to help. What you could do, though, is in this time think to yourself, where else could I be casting the net? And it is possible that some of you might be looking in a different industry, looking at fine-tuning your skill set, maybe getting some education or training, or maybe just looking in a different area and saying, well, maybe if I looked at this geographical space, different city, state, country, or province, I might find something different. Now, going back to the spread so we don't have to reinvent the wheel, look at all the people here. So work with your existing, like Two of Cups could be your best friends, your family members, the most intimate relationships. You may also be working with previous employees and coworkers, and even former students that you went to school with, classmates. So family, classmates, peers, and lean into the network, because I think you've exhausted yourself and exhausted the resources. If you're open to it, the Magician for some of you could also represent someone that can help you find a job. So a headhunter, or some sort of a representative. It could also be you deciding to go with an agency, like a talent agency. That might be worth exploring. Okay, now let's move on to those who are currently in school, students. I love the Two of Wands. In the reverse position, it might be a question of maybe like 1 or 2 semesters or 1 or 2 years in. How am I tracking to my overall goals? Do I need to add something to my portfolio, to my internship roster? Do I want to change up my minor or my major? You can still do it at that point. This is also looking back to the things in your life that have always brought you a sense of passion. And maybe you're even thinking, I'd like to travel abroad here, because the globe here can represent travel. Stay open-minded and follow those sort of instincts. 2 of my instincts led me in a really good position. One was to get out of my undergraduate degree a semester early and travel abroad. And then I did the same thing when I was finished with my grad degree. I'm like, I really want to get out in the market right now, because I felt like there was some things happening. So I also graduated early. So there were a couple of times where I decided to change my trajectory based on an instinct, and it was the right instinct at those times. So even if it means moving things around in your schedule, maybe taking a couple extra classes here or there, whatever you want to do, I feel like that's within reach. All of that being said, your biggest challenges are general health and well-being and a lack of sleep, which I feel like you can manage. If you are already loaded to the max when it comes to credits and activities, just pull it back a little bit, because everything else in the spread is very much success-oriented. Okay? You've got this. Now let's take a look at retirees. We have the 6 of Cups in reverse. It's going back to the things that you loved as a kid. Reconnecting for some of you with your friends, your family, with classmates. One of the best things that's been happening to me right now is just being able to see some cousins, some friends, and some more family. Because I also kind of sometimes work too much and focus on other things. So all the stuff that happened in LA basically gave me a reason, not just an excuse, but an actual reason to reconnect with people that I loved. You don't need to retire. You don't need a natural disaster or a death or a birth or a marriage to do these things, but sometimes we wait for that. So if you have more time, and oftentimes retirees do, let's spend the time with the people you love the most. 6 of Cups can be children. It can be giving back to the next generation, but it can also just be finding love, friendship, and camaraderie. And that's a beautiful segue into the next category, which is love and relationships. So also a nice synchronicity with all of that, especially this, is the Fool card, which is something new. This Fool isn't quite ready to spread its wings just yet, but it will be soon. So it takes time when there's a new relationship to kind of get your bearings. It takes time when you're newly single. Wherever you're at, whatever stage, we're going to look at those 3 points in a moment, but just give yourself a moment to settle, okay? Let's now dig a little deeper and see what's going on with the major categories of relationships. So for those of you in a relationship, that's your card. Then we'll look at those of you that are seeking love, followed finally by those that are single and happy. All right, if you're currently in a relationship, you may be feeling just heightened sensitivity overall. So the Knight of Cups in the upright position, things are moving in the right direction, but when it's reversed, it's basically saying, let's take a step back. I'm feeling a lot of stress, or I'm feeling a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. And the one thing that you really want to do is get into this King of Pentacles zone where he's feeling connected, grounded, and then speak up like this Queen of Swords. So after the grounding comes that communication. Those are the keys to success. Now let's just look at this spread and see what else I'm picking up on. You might be on the heels of an argument. The Ten of Swords is right on top of everything. It doesn't feel like it's the end of the world. It's never fun to have an argument like the Ten of Swords, but what I like about the rest of this spread is we have friendship and love, we have communication, we have a sense of commitment, and we have two people that are going to work it out. One of you may want or need a little something more. There's a negotiation. That's all this is. A compromise or negotiation. Try not to tune the other person out or give them silent treatment. Don't let them do that to you either. I think as long as the lines of communication stay open, you're okay. You're stepping into something new. You want to treat each day like a clean slate and not carry the burden of yesterday into the next day. Other than that, I'm loving what I'm seeing here, specifically when it comes to improvements in like either personal development, finances, or opportunities. Okay? Honestly, one of the two of you still has the passion. Head over heels is what we see with this. Right now it's heels over head. So we want to get back into that energy of feeling like anything is possible. There's someone that's being a little bit too practical or is holding a grudge. And when we can get the healing to happen, I feel like everything's going to move in the right direction. All right, moving on to those of you that are looking for love. It could come on the heels of travel. Ten of Wands is often you moving from one place to another or possibly deciding to take a trip or vacation. This is also what I was talking about, don't push it. So I love the Ten of Wands in the upright position. It represents your ability to accomplish your goals. But in reverse, it can be someone that's forcing the connection. And that's the worst thing in any relationship sometimes, is if someone is too pushy. And so just take a step back. That's what this whole sloth energy is helping you. Just kind of hang out with someone. Be relaxed, stay composed. Have a good level of, I can take it or leave it, that level of indifference. Not like I don't care, but like we'll figure this out. That kind of indifference is key. And I think as long as you do that, you've got it covered, folks, okay? One step at a time, one day at a time, all right? Let's go ahead now and see if there's, hold on, we'll see if there's any kind of person coming in. I know you're saying, wait, Nicholas, I want to know who's coming in. Hope, spheres, and opportunities. Earth sign looks like a very amazing match here. This person is very driven, so as long as you're driven, and it seems like they might be a little bit of a homebody. So they want to stay home, they like their work, they like their sort of little, habits in the world. So as long as that's okay with you, that's great. You have too many options almost this month when it comes to people that you're pulling in. I see a kind of restless water sign here, and then I see a very serious air sign. You've got all the elements almost, except wands. Actually, no, you got wands. You got it all. So when this happens, it's almost a moment for you to just pull back a little bit and take a break, especially with Ten of Swords and Four of Swords. Self-care is key, and then discernment. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Can you find people? Yes. But what are you trying to really bring in partnership-wise? Is it the best friend energy that we see here? Is it that sense of, oh my gosh, I can't stop thinking about you, that sort of passion that we see here? Do you want someone that you can talk to about anything and everything? Do you want someone that is self-made? If you want it all, fine. The more specific and picky you are, sometimes the longer it takes, and there's nothing wrong with waiting for the right connection. I just see a lot of different people offering up maybe pieces of the same whole that you're looking for, the same sort of pie chart of possibilities. So be clearer on that. I think that will help you out. But first things first, self-care. Ten of Swords and Four of Swords are showing a need to slow down just a little bit. Okay? Finally, if you're single and happy, we have an upright Page of Cups saying, yes, I am single and happy. And so this is a great time for you to just have fun. This is creative. This is playful. This is a great card to connect with others. Even if you're not looking for love, you could absolutely find friendship this month if that's something that you're interested in. I also see, again, the ability for getting on top of your finances. using your voice in a way that matters, making a difference. And so, like everyone else, heal yourself first and foremost, okay? Now let's move on. Speaking of like health and well-being, we're going to look at a destiny card that's connected to both of them. We have the strength card coming through here. You have the capacity to manage any obstacle in your way. This strength card does not have a human kind of opening up its mouth, trying to get it to speak or do what that human wants. So what we see here is not just overcoming that power struggle, but now embodying everything that strength represents. So the ability to land on your feet, do what you need to do, deal with any challenge, and not have the same sort of power dynamics come through this month, okay? I love it. And the cyclical energy there with the infinity sign on the forehead shows me that this is something that can stick. This is kind of a new version of yourself now that can be present through the next few steps of your life, the next few years if you want it to. Focus definitely on your physical strength and know that if there's a challenge that comes your way, you can manage that challenge. Now's a chance to ask one last question. This can be anything that I haven't yet addressed, so think about it for a moment. I'm going to shuffle the cards and we'll see what Spirit has to say. All right. As a yes or no, it's a yes. However, there's something about whatever it is that you're asking where we talked about this need to detach a little bit. You need to detach a little bit from needing it or wanting it. This card in reverse, Emperor in reverse, can sometimes be overly sort of like pushy or again, micromanaging. So put it out there in the universe and then let it go. That's what I kind of get with this. Let's take a moment to look at this a little bit closer. In the upright position, we can see the strategic element here. He's literally thinking, as we talked about earlier, 2 or 3 steps ahead like you would with chess. It's important to know how you're going to bring everything into focus, and it's not a time to wing it. So don't micromanage things, don't wing it, have a plan, that's for sure, and then don't be afraid to speak up. I think all of these things are going to help you out. You also have the capacity to do this on your own. You may be waiting for someone else to make it happen, and this card is saying you're the best person to make it happen, but you have to believe in yourself. You have so many powerful cards, including the Magician right at the center. So the Magician card, the Strength card, the Queen of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and yes, the Emperor, they're all coming through to say, who better than you? Let's give it a shot. Invest in yourself, believe in yourself. I do, okay? That's everything for this month. I hope you enjoyed this, and I would just want to say thank you again for your patience. Like I said, I'll be flipping the order this upcoming month, and this was a month where I just had to prioritize my health, so thanks for understanding. Things happen, and I'm doing my best here, and I appreciate your flexibility. If you want to follow me on social media, it's a really great way to make sure that you don't miss out on future announcements. So it's Nicholas Ashbaugh on all the major platforms. It's nicholasashbaugh.com on Blue Sky. You can find all of these links on my official website, which is nicholasashbaugh.com. Additionally, you can show some love and support optionally through super stickers and super chat. If you do that, I just want to say thank you, because that absolutely goes back into the channel. Podcasts at present are basically a labor of love. So everything you give in memberships, I just put back into creating some exciting content. And it allows me to do other types of videos as well. So thank you if you do give back, I appreciate it. Quick reminder, I don't give any private readings, so if you do see someone pretending to be me, please block and report. I don't use direct messages either, so I basically say that for your safety. Now let's take a look at Apollo as we wrap up for today. So he's been hanging out in the background, and I just want to say, wishing you all the best here in the month ahead. Take care of yourselves, and thank you again for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.